Your Minnesota Vikings are looking for a new defensive coordinator for obvious reasons. Vikings defense had a lot of issues, and they weren't just limited to Ed Donatel. I mean, let's give him some respect. Did what he could. It just wasn't good enough, as well as the entire defense may need an overhaul because other than being old and slow and ineffective at times, I mean, they're really good. All right, so the Vikings already reached out to three candidates for their defense coordinator job. The most interesting one to me right now is Brian Flores, former head coach of the Dolphins. Recently, he has been on staff with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. So, just adding more leadership, just adding more to the brain trust on the defensive side of the ball. I think it does make a lot of sense. Vikings requested to talk to him over the weekend, and so the Vikings will likely have him in the building, or they'll go meet him, and potentially he's going to be the Vikings' new DC. And also, I do think that Flores, a lot of people bring up the whole lawsuit drama and all that stuff. I really don't care. I just want a good leader. I want a good coach on that side of the ball, and I think Flores is a guy that after he gets back in the saddle, after he has a couple of good years being a coordinator, probably should and could be back in the mix for head coaching job. So we'll see what happens there. But background on Brian Flores. He's 41 years young, played some college ball at Boston College. Actually, he started on the scouting side with the Patriots back in 2004 before he became a special teams assistant on the coaching side in 2008. That's when the much ballyhooed crossover with Kevin O'Connell, because Kevin O'Connell came in as a third-round quarterback out of San Diego State. Flores was on staff, so connections going deep, man. Worked his way up, safeties coach, linebacker coach, and then eventually became the de facto defensive coordinator in 2018 after Matt Patricia took the Lions job. Got him. And his play calling that one season with the Patriots did get him the head coaching job with the Dolphins. Had 3 seasons there, went 24-25. But overall, just even though I think that it's very easy to say he had success in Miami. It just didn't quite work out for a myriad of reasons. But his defensive ranks as either the play caller or head coach. Now, he called plays in New England 2018. He intermittently called plays with the Dolphins, took over. Josh Boyer was in the mix as defensive coordinator there. And also, it needs to be pointed out, so New England, has played variations. So generally, they like a 3-man front. So Flores worked with that for a number of years. They've also mixed in some even man fronts as well. With the Dolphins in 2019, he inherited a 4-3 team. He stuck with it because that was the existing personnel. It didn't quite work out. But then in 2020, when he was able to implement his 3-4, which is his preferred defense, you saw the Dolphins make a big-time leap, going from 32nd in points allowed all the way up to 6, as well as winning 10 games in 2020. So I think that speaks to Flores' leadership, as well as once he's allowed to put his own system in and get some of his own players. I mean, it's tough to rebuild a team in one offseason. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3. You saw the impact that he had in that spot. And pros for Brian Flores. So obviously defensive play calling experience. You do like having that as your defense coordinator. Although it's one of the, it's like the job market. Hey, like it's nice to have job experience, but how do you get job experience if they don't hire you without job experience? One of those things, man. Also, obviously head coaching experience, 3 years with Miami, 10 wins, like we mentioned, 2020 as well. I mean, plus 2020 was the weird, COVID year. So I think that him getting to double-digit wins with a Dolphins team that was aight. I think that that speaks volumes about his leadership, as well as getting 9 wins in 2021, even though he was fired in that offseason. Had 11 seasons coaching under Belichick, which, Belichick and the Patriots, not so much recent years, but Belichick is still one of the greatest defensive minds of all time, as well as he worked with Tomlin in 2022. So you got Belichick and Tomlin, like 2 of the best coaches in the last couple decades in the league. It's not bad to have on your resume. Also, like I mentioned, has coached the 3-4 and the 4-3, plus he worked his way up special teams, safeties, linebackers, just coming through the center of that defense. He's aggressive play calling. He has the respect of the players, and I do think that Kevin O'Connell, being the good cop, and Brian Flores being the very demanding, sort of ass-kicking defensive coordinator, I think that would be a match made in heaven, man. Because I do kind of feel like, now, obviously, the players love Donatel. Was Donatel maybe a little bit too soft on the players? Maybe. But, I mean, there's that balance, right? Like, so you can be just over the top and having a fear-driven organization, or you could just let the players run things, and you're too much of a player's coach. But I think that there does need to be balance. I think Brian Flores would come in and would be perfect for that situation. So we'll see what happens. Flores, as well as Seahawks assistant head coach Sean Desai and Saints co-defense coordinator Ryan Nielsen are currently the three that the Vikings have requested interviews for. I'm sure we'll see a lot more down the line. But as of right now, I would love the Flores hire. I mean, get Flores in here, working with Pettin, working with Mike Smith, just completely revamping that side of the ball, just getting super aggressive on it. Let's go. Get younger and faster and just get after him. Get after him, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at Vikings defensive coordinator candidate Brian Flores. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.